Ethan had always been curious. Not just the usual curiosity of a teenager trying to sneak into a lab or peek at a secret file, but the kind that burned in his chest, the kind that made him touch things he shouldn't, ask questions no one could answer, and explore corners of the world where danger often lurked. On a cloudy evening, he found himself in the back room of an old, abandoned research facility. The walls were cracked, dust floated in the air like tiny stars, and the only sound was the faint hum of machinery long forgotten. At the center of the room, under a thick glass dome, rested the alien artifact. It wasn't large, no bigger than a football, but its surface shimmered with strange, shifting colors, as if it had a mind of its own. "Wake up," Ethan said, smirking. He had learned about the artifact from old classified files he hacked into. Scientists had called it dormant. Dangerous, too. But tonight he wasn't thinking about danger. He was thinking about the thrill. Saying the words out loud was a joke. Adare. A challenge to something that couldn't even hear him. The room went silent. Then the glass dome started to hum. A low, vibrating sound filled the room, growing louder. Ethan froze. His heart pounded in his chest. The shimmer on the artifact's surface twisted, turning from green to deep purple to fiery orange. And then a voice, cold, alien, and impossible, filled the air. "Who calls me?" Ethan's knees nearly gave way. I was just joking," he stammered. "I didn't mean anything." The artifact pulsed, and a faint red light traced patterns across its surface. It was scanning him, or maybe something deeper. "You speak the words of power. You are of the line I seek." Ethan shook his head, trying to convince himself this was some trick of the mind. But the voice was real, and the artifact, alive or not, had just recognized him. That he backed away slowly, but the floor beneath the artifact began to glow. A holographic map appeared, stretching across the walls, showing stars, planets, and strange symbols Ethan couldn't recognize. Lines connected points in the galaxy to a single, blinking star. The artifact's voice echoed again. "Your bloodline carries the key. Offer it willingly, or suffer the consequence." Ethan's mind raced. He had no idea what key the artifact meant, but instinct screamed danger. He glanced around for an exit, but the doors of the facility slammed shut. The hum grew louder, vibrating through his bones. Suddenly, the artifact projected a small figure, an alien, humanoid but glowing with light. Its eyes were endless black pools, reflecting every fear Ethan had ever had. It raised a hand, and a holographic image of Ethan's family appeared. His grandfather. His father. Even a faint image of him as a child. "Your ancestors made a pact. You inherited the debt." Ethan's stomach churned. "I don't understand. I never agreed to anything," he shouted. "The bloodline is chosen. The one who woke me must decide." The artifact pulsed again, sending waves of energy across the room. Ethan felt something, an ancient connection, as if memories that weren't his own were brushing against his mind. He saw flashes of people he didn't know, speaking in a language older than any human civilization. Scenes of alien cities, warships, and strange creatures filled his vision. He collapsed onto the floor, breathing hard. The alien figure leaned closer, its voice softer but terrifying. "Decide, child of Earth. Will you awaken the legacy, or will it awaken you?" Ethan's hands trembled. His mind was spinning, trying to understand the impossible. But he realized something terrifying. This was bigger than him. It had been waiting for generations, and now, it had chosen him. Then the artifact changed. Its colors swirled violently, faster than the eye could follow, and it whispered in a new tone, urgent, almost pleading. "Find the Codex. Protect the lineage, or all worlds fall." What does that even mean?" Ethan whispered. But the voice faded. The holograms disappeared. The doors clicked open. The artifact sat silently again as if nothing had happened. Ethan was alone, almost. On the floor, faintly glowing, was a small object he hadn't noticed before. A cube no bigger than his palm, etched with the same strange symbols from the holographic map. He picked it up, feeling the heat of its energy. It pulsed like a heartbeat, alive in his hands. He had no choice. Whatever joke he had made, whatever prank he thought this was, it had now become a reality. And it was dangerous. terrifyingly dangerous. Outside the facility, night had fallen completely. The wind carried a chill, and somewhere in the distance, a star flickered strangely, almost like a signal. Ethan knew, deep down, that nothing would ever be the same. The bloodline, the artifact, the Codex, all of it was calling him forward. And if he failed, not just he, but the entire world might pay the price. Ethan stood, gripping the cube tightly. He took a deep breath, his eyes scanning the horizon. The first step of the journey was clear. He had to find the Codex. And time was running out. The artifact had awakened. And now, so had his destiny. Ethan ran through the dark streets, the small glowing cube clutched tightly in his hand. Every step echoed in the empty city, and the night felt alive, almost aware of him. The artifact's warning echoed in his mind. Find the Codex. Protect the lineage. Or all worlds fall. But he didn't know where to start. He needed answers. And there was only one place that might have them. A secret library hidden beneath the oldest university on Earth. Legends spoke of it, but no one alive had ever entered. The story said it was guarded by traps, puzzles, and even strange creatures. Ethan shivered. He had faced danger before, but the cube pulsed in his hand. Its light grew brighter with every step, almost as if it was leading him somewhere. He remembered the holographic map the artifact had shown him. The blinking star in that map. It matched a constellation above the library. A hidden clue. Somehow this cube and the map were connected. When he reached the university, the main doors were locked, of course. But that didn't stop Ethan. Using an old maintenance entrance, he slipped inside. The air smelled of dust and age, and the shadows seemed to move. Every sound, the creak of a floorboard, the rustle of papers, made his heart race. Deep below the library, hidden behind a wall of old books, Ethan found a narrow staircase descending into darkness. The cube glowed brighter, lighting the steps. He took a deep breath and went down. At the bottom, he entered a large chamber. Ancient symbols covered the walls, glowing faintly. Strange humming devices floated in the air, and the temperature was colder than outside. At the center of the room was a pedestal, and on it, an ancient book. Its cover was etched with the same patterns as the cube. The Codex. Ethan's hands shook as he approached it. The cube pulsed faster, almost as if it was urging him forward. He reached out and stopped. A voice deep and alien echoed in his mind. Only the chosen may touch the Codex. Prove your worth. Suddenly the room shifted. The walls moved, creating a maze of glowing symbols. Ethan realized this was a test, a puzzle designed to protect the Codex. He had to solve it or fail. He moved carefully, tracing the symbols with his fingers. Each one lit up as he touched it in the correct order, and the cube's glow changed colors, guiding him. But then something unexpected happened. The symbols began to move on their own, rearranging into a pattern Ethan didn't recognize. A shadow moved in the corner of the room. A figure emerged. Tall, armored, and alien. Its face was hidden behind a helmet, but its eyes glowed red. Step back, human. This is not for you. Ethan's pulse raced. I have to take it. My bloodline, it's connected. You don't understand. The alien raised its hand. Energy crackled. I understand more than you know. The Codex belongs to my people. You will not take it. Ethan swallowed his fear. He remembered the artifact's warning and the images of his ancestors. Somehow he had to outsmart this guardian. He held up the cube. It pulsed violently, its light forming a protective barrier around him. The alien hesitated. What is that? The artifact, Ethan said, his voice steady. It woke me. It said I am the bloodline. I don't want to fight you, but I will protect the Codex if I must. The alien's energy crackled, but it did not attack. Instead it studied him. You may be the one, but you must prove it. Suddenly, the cube projected a holographic image, a scene from centuries ago. Humans, aliens, and other beings stood together making a pact. And at the center, an ancestor of Ethan's handed something to the alien race. Ethan gasped. His bloodline had been part of this ancient alliance. And now, it was his turn to continue it. The alien lowered its hand. Then take the Codex. But beware. Others will come. Not all will be friendly. Ethan stepped forward, placing the cube on the pedestal next to the Codex. The symbols on the walls rearranged themselves, glowing brighter than ever. The book opened on its own, revealing pages filled with knowledge he could barely comprehend. Plans for starships, maps of alien worlds, formulas for energy beyond imagination. His mind raced. This knowledge could change humanity forever, or destroy it. As he studied the Codex, the cube pulsed again, and the alien figure vanished. But Ethan felt a strange presence in the room, as if eyes unseen were watching him. He had a moment to rest, but he knew it would be short-lived. Outside, the night was quiet, but Ethan sensed movement. Shadows shifting, figures watching from afar. He realized the artifact had awakened more than just him. Others, alien hunters, interstellar thieves, maybe even rogue humans, had detected the same signal. They would come for the Codex. Ethan closed the book carefully, taking both the Codex and the cube. He had survived the first trial, but the real journey was just beginning. He needed allies, knowledge, and strength. Otherwise, the power he now carried could turn against him. And against the world. He made his way back through the labyrinthine tunnels beneath the library. Every step echoed like a warning. The artifact's voice whispered in his mind again, faint but urgent. The Bloodline awakens. The hunt begins. Choose wisely. Ethan emerged into the night, gripping the Codex and the cube tightly. The city lay before him, quiet and empty, but he knew it would not stay that way. Somewhere out there, forces were moving, waiting for the right moment to strike. For the first time, Ethan understood the full weight of his bloodline. The artifact hadn't just chosen him, it had marked him. And the universe had taken notice. He took a deep breath, looking up at the stars. The blinking constellation from the holographic map shone brighter than before. He knew the path was dangerous, full of unknown enemies and ancient secrets, but it was his path. And he would walk it, no matter the cost. Because if he failed, not just he, but every human on Earth, and perhaps beyond, would face the consequences. And somewhere in the distance, a star flickered, almost as if it were sending a message. Ethan's heart pounded. The adventure had just begun. Ethan ran through the forest just outside the city, the Codex and cube tightly in his hands. The moonlight barely cut through the dense trees, but he didn't care. Every step he took, he felt the artifact's presence humming, guiding him, and warning him. The alien guardian's words echoed in his mind. Others will come. Not all will be friendly. He didn't have to wait long. From the shadows, figures emerged, tall, sleek, and deadly. Alien hunters, armed with energy weapons that hummed like living things, surrounded him. Their eyes glowed red, scanning for any weakness. Ethan's heart pounded. He had no weapons. No allies. Just the Codex and the cube. But he remembered something. An image from the Codex itself, a symbol glowing brightly. He pressed the cube against the symbol, and instantly, a barrier of light formed around him. Energy pulsed, shielding him from the hunter's first attack. The leader of the hunters stepped forward, a humanoid with sharp features and armor that gleamed under the moonlight. Hand over the Codex, human. You cannot fight us. Ethan swallowed his fear. I'm not handing it over. This belongs to my bloodline, and I will protect it. The hunters attacked, but Ethan felt something awaken inside him. A power he didn't understand, flowing from the cube and the Codex through his body. The air vibrated as he raised his hands, and suddenly, beams of energy shot from the cube, throwing the hunters back. Trees splintered, and the ground shook. He realized the artifact had chosen him not just as a protector, but as a warrior. His ancestors' strength, their knowledge, and their courage flowed through him. Every strike, every pulse of energy, was guided by generations long gone. The leader recovered and charged, but Ethan was ready. He touched the Codex, and glowing symbols appeared around his body. His vision expanded, showing paths through the forest, weaknesses in the hunter's formation, and even glimpses of their plan. The Codex didn't just give knowledge, it gave power to act on it. Ethan moved with speed and precision he had never known. Energy surged from his hands, throwing hunters aside. He wasn't just fighting to survive. He was fighting for humanity. But then, something unexpected happened. The cube began to vibrate violently, brighter than ever. Ethan heard the artifact's voice deep and urgent. Heed the warning. The bloodline must awaken fully, or all is lost. A vision struck him. A massive fleet of alien ships, ready to descend on Earth. Their weapons could destroy cities in minutes. And at the center, a figure, tall, cloaked in black energy, commanding the fleet. This was the one who had awakened when he joked with the artifact. The true enemy. Ethan knew he couldn't fight them all alone. But the artifact gave him a plan. The symbols on the Codex shifted, showing locations across the world. Ancient temples, hidden laboratories, and alien ruins. All places where humans had left secrets and weapons, waiting for someone of his bloodline to claim them. He had a choice: run and hide, or embrace his legacy and lead humanity into a fight they didn't even know was coming. Ethan's chest heaved. He made his decision. I will not run. I will not hide. I am the bloodline, and I will protect my world. The cube pulsed, and energy exploded outward. The hunters screamed, shielding their eyes. When the light faded, Ethan stood alone, no sign of the attackers. The artifact had given him a gift. Speed, strength, knowledge, and the first taste of his bloodline's true power. Ethan looked at the sky. The stars above seemed different now, as if the universe itself was aware of him. Somewhere out there, the true enemy was watching. But he wasn't afraid. He had the Codex. He had the cube. And most importantly, he had his bloodline guiding him. He returned to the city, moving through the streets silently. The world above slept, unaware of the war that was about to come. But Ethan knew he couldn't wait. Every second mattered. He needed allies, knowledge, and more power to stand against what was coming. The artifact whispered again, a voice softer now, almost like a mother's, guiding him. Awaken the lineage. Gather the chosen. Only then can humanity stand. Ethan knew the journey ahead would be long and dangerous. There would be battles, betrayals, and